Hey guys, so in this video we are going to be installing the head studs in the Ppump 6.7. These are, I did a little video on the head studs. These are the exotic expensive ones. So these are supposed to be the high quality ones. I've never used these before. The quality doesn't look too bad, but I've never used them before, so we will see what these things are like. I figured worst case scenario, if they're no good, I'll blow a head gasket, I'll use different studs, and I'll just use these for something else. But anyways, I'm going to throw it in a time lapse because I'm just going to be putting them all in and then torquing them down. So what I do is I run them all down in there, I lube everything, I put a couple drops of oil on the end of the threads, putting them into the block. I'll put all the nuts and washers on, lube everything, and then what I'm going to do is I back the bolts off half a turn and then tighten the nuts back down by hand, and then go through and I'll torque everything down. I obviously will have to pull these out because they're the ones that I put in there just to hold the head on while we were waiting for these ones to show up. These ones showed up today, so I want to get the head torqued on. I did finish off camera. I put the rest of the keepers in, hold everything together, so that's all good. So as soon as I get this thing torqued down, we can put the push rods in, which I've used push rods to use. And then I have the rocker bridges, which I'll do a quick little video, separate video on. And then, yeah, we'll basically have the top end of this thing done. Other than I obviously need to put the injectors and the tubes and stuff in, which I'm not going to do yet because I'm not just 100% sure what I'm going to use for injectors. I probably won't decide till the day I put them in, but we'll go from there. We'll deal with that when we get there. So anyways, I'm going to throw it into time lapse, and we'll catch you on the next. Oh, so for these, and 625s are the same way. You're supposed to do 3 equal amounts. So what they recommend is 50, 100, and 150 foot-pounds. I'm going to over torque them a little bit. They recommend to not over torque them. I always over torque them. Do as you may. I will be torquing these to 165. If you want to over torque them, go ahead. If you don't want to, okay, but I do. All right, guys, got them all torqued. They seem to torque okay. I did loosen 2 off because they squeaked a little bit, but I think that was the lower end of the thread, so I loosened them off. Just basically unload them, make sure that there's lube, all the lube is on there. So I think it was the lower threads that were creaking, and it is common for that. Not even just with these studs. Well, obviously I've never done these ones before, but it is common. So usually when that happens, or if they feel weird, I unload them, make sure there's good lube there, and then put it back down again. They did torque up okay, didn't have an issue. Something I did want to mention for you guys that are doing this, that have never done it, I do it a little bit different, and I don't know if you guys will be able to see it in the time lapse. So when I do my 50 foot-pounds, I start in the middle, go out, and then I do 50. I do 50 again, because when you start loading the head gasket down, your next torque, these ones will be loose. So that's how I do it. I'm not saying that's the right way to do it. I'm not saying you have to do it that way. That's the way I do it. So I start it here, do 50, work my way out. Do 50, work my way out. And then I do your 100 foot-pounds, work my way out. And then do my 150, work my way out. Like I said, I do them a little higher than that, but that's how I do it, not how you have to do it. And then what I do is when I'm done, then I go over it one more time just to make sure. So usually on the last one, I start in the middle, go this way, start in the middle, go this way. Just to make sure I didn't miss any, make sure everything's torqued up right, make sure everything feels good. So, you know, it's one of those things, you don't have to do it, but since I've started doing it that way, I've never had an issue. You know, and I do, you know, used to do lots of head gaskets on trucks. After I started doing that, I'd never had a problem with one. I don't know the reason for never having a problem with it, but I've never had a problem with one after I started doing that. I had issues before with stuff coming loose and, you know, like with head bolts, but that's part of the reason I over torqued the head bolts. We'll get into that another time. And that's a controversial thing. Lots of guys say, oh, you're wasting your time. You shouldn't over torque to me and blah, blah, blah. But anyways, like, subscribe, hit me down in the comments. Catch you on the next one. Oh, I guess, we'll give a little extra on the end for you guys that actually watch the video to the end here. I have the, rocker bridges. Hold on, be right back. So, rocker bridges, Manton rocker bridges. I like a lot of Manton stuff. Some stuff I don't use, some stuff I do, but I like their rocker bridges, their trunnions. They got good push rods and all that stuff. So these are the upgrade ones, and I did a video, or I'm going to do a video showing you the difference between the two and the reason that you want to use these. Now, installing these, there again, I'll talk a little bit about it here. I always put the non-slotted, it is slotted a little bit. I always put the non-slotted towards the intake, like that. Does it make a difference? I don't know, to be totally honest. So if you flip it the other way, it still says Manton on it. It's just that's how I do it. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it makes a difference or not. But anyways, that's just a little sneak peek for you guys that did watch it right to the end. I appreciate you guys. You know, I can see who watches right to the end or how many people are. Lots of guys are. I appreciate you guys watching right to the end because it does make a difference. It does make a difference in the channel if you like. It does make a difference if you, the subscription makes a difference if you subscribe, makes a difference if you like, makes a difference if you comment. It does actually, it shows YouTube that you guys like the content. So if you guys can do that, that'd be awesome. You know, just, I put out a lot of content. I realize that sometimes I know a few guys are like, oh, I can't keep up to all the content that you're putting out. So, you know, it's one of those things. But anyways, catch us on the next one.